Hey everyone, welcome to Creating a Comic Book with Morphic. In this video, we'll go through some of the workflows you can use to create a comic book from scratch using Morphic Studio. Let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is log into Morphic Studio. You're going to land into your dashboard area here. Now, the very first thing we want to do to create our comic book is we want to train a style model. In order to do that, we're going to navigate on the left-hand side. You'll see the section called Models here on the top left-hand side. I'm going to select Models. So you can see I've already have a few models trained here, but we'll go through how you can do one from scratch. The first thing you're going to do is on the top right, you're going to see Create Style Model button. You're going to press that, and you're going to see this drop down. Make sure you're selected Style Model. You want to name your style, so we can just say something like comic book style, like that. And then you're going to want to gather and upload around 20 to 30 images of the sort of style you want to use for your comic book. Now you can source these from the internet, or if you're an artist yourself, you can upload some of your previous artwork. That way, Morphic Studio can understand what is the style that you want to create in. You want to ensure, this is a diverse data set that has backgrounds, objects, and characters. I have a quick one I've put together, so I'm going to upload these here. And you can see this is the sort of style I want to create my comic book in. So you can see all the assets I've uploaded here are consistent in the same style. Make sure all your images are in the same style, otherwise it won't work. So you can see I have a variety of characters, backgrounds here, I have objects. Make sure your data set is diverse enough so that Morphic Studio can understand what things can look like within your style. Once I've uploaded the assets, I can press Start Training. Now this will take around 10 to 15 minutes to completely train, and then you can use that in Morphic Studio. Now that we have our style model trained, the next thing we want to do is create our character model. Now, if you have a character already, what you're going to do is the same flow. Press Create Model. You want to make sure this time Character Model is selected. You can name your character, and then you can upload around 3 to 4 images of your character itself. So this can be front shot, side shots, close-up shots. You just want to ensure you've uploaded around 4 images, 4 to 5 of your character. And then again, you can press Train. I'll show you an example of a character model like trained here. So you can see that I have 4 images here and the character in different angles. And then similarly, you'll press Train. If you don't have a character already, you can create one from scratch just by using your style model within Morphic Studio. And I'll show you how to do that in just a bit. Now that you have your style and character model trained, what we'll do is go ahead and navigate to our workspace. So you can open up your workspace. I have one called Comic Book Creation, and you can create a project. Select on the top right, Create Project, name your project. So I'm going to say Comic Book 1 and Create. Now it opens up this canvas area. This is where you're going to do all your generations for your comic book. Now the first thing we're going to do is making sure that you have your comic book scenes already in mind of what you want to create. So each panel will equivalent to a single frame. And now we're going to generate each of these single frames. The first thing we're going to do is open up prompt bar. You can select your format. I think I'm going to go for 16 by 9. And then you want to select your style model. So make sure your style model is always selected throughout any generation you do. This will keep all your generations consistent in style. So I had named my style Demo Style Model, so I have that selected. And now I can describe my scene. So for the sake of this video, we're going to do a fun little 4-panel story of a boy starting school. It's a new year and he wants to focus on his grades, but then he sees a girl walk in and he gets distracted by the girl. So let's go ahead and generate these 4 scenes. So the first scene will be a intro shot of just the school. So I'm going to go ahead and describe that. So it's a front shot of a large school, kids around with backpacks walking to school. So you can do that similarly for all your scenes. Just simply describe it as a text prompt and make sure your style model is selected. I'm going to go ahead and press Generate. Similarly, I'm going to do this for the other 3 scenes. But my second scene is going to have my character in it. This is where I'm going to use my character model. Now to show you really quick how you can create a character from scratch if you don't have one. You want to make sure your style model is selected, and then you're going to basically describe the sort of character you want to create from scratch. So I'm just going to create, you're going to first write 4 shots so that 4 different poses get processed. So 4 poses will create a schoolgirl of a schoolgirl that wears a pink uniform. Okay, something simple like that. 4 poses should be your main prompt plus your character description, and I'm going to press generate. This should generate the character I kind of want to create from scratch. Cool. So, for example, like this is a good one. I would use her as a character. So what I can do now that I have this image, I can export this. I can crop out each individual character as a single image, and I can train a new character model. To do that, you can navigate to character here, press plus, and then upload those 4 individual images. Or you can do it like how I showed you in the beginning. So this is very useful for creating characters from scratch if you don't have a character at all. Great, so now let's go back to our scene creation. Let's go ahead and regenerate that school image, the front shot of a large school. So sometimes if you don't like the generations you get, you can go ahead and regenerate it just by altering the prompt a bit. Go ahead and delete these for now. Great. Awesome. I think this is a great image. We can use this for our first scene. And we'll use this for our first scene. And I want to add some text to it, as you know, it is a comic book. In order to add text, you're going to select your image, and on the top you'll see a text button. You'll select text, and now you can basically draw a chat bubble wherever you want. So you can just say, it's the first day of school. I can add a caption like this. You can place it anywhere you want. And you can also change, the text color and background if you'd like. If you want it to be a chat bubble, you can edit that as well. So on this side, you can edit if it's a bubble, like a rectangle like you see here, or just plain text. And feel free to change the font as well. So we have our first scene ready. Great. Now let's move on to the second scene. The second scene is going to be with our character. So now we're going to use a character model. So the second scene will be a front shot of him essentially walking to school with his backpack on. So I have a character model already created, and you can find yours here as well. So you're going to select character. I'm going to select Oyan, which is my character. And now you're going to describe the scene with your character. So Oyan, front shot. He is walking to school. So something like that. And we can press generate. We'll wait for these to generate. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Let's use this one. I think this is also like a good shot that shows the school bus as well, so we can see the other side of what's going on here. Great, this is our second shot. So we can basically say, let's add a text box here. We can write, can't wait to take on this year. Time to get straight A's. So our character here is excited for school, and his main goal here is to get straight A's. But now, this is where we'll create that scene with the girl. So I'll can describe for a third scene, a beautiful school girl walking to school. We don't have a character here for her, but if you want to create a character model, you would use that same flow like I showed you earlier, like this. 4 poses of your character description. But if you just have like a one-time character sort of thing, you can just describe it politely just on text. Then you can press generate. Compiler saves like this. Great. Great, so we can use her and use this. Now you can see that I have a good generation of the girl, but the background does not look like cohesive with this sort of storyline. So what I can do is, this is where layers comes into handy, where I can layer out the girl. In order to layer her out, I'm going to press object selection. You'll press this and you'll get a bunch of blue dots, which you can align across the object you want to segment out here. Just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and segment her out. And while she segments, I'm going to generate a new background. So let's just generate a background. Background of a walking pathway to school. Great. Okay, this is, I think, a more appropriate background. It kind of fits this pathway here. So let's use this. And I'm going to delete these 3. This is a more appropriate background that's more cohesive with the storyline. Now once she segments out, I can move her into this background. This way it makes it easy for you to build scenes if you don't like certain elements within any of the other scenes you've generated. Perfect. So on the right hand side, this is where you'll see all your layers for a single frame. So you can see we've segmented her out. So I can take her now and let's drag her across to this scene here. I can place her right here. Now we have a scene with a schoolgirl. Perfect. I'm gonna delete this, and this is our new scene. Great. So now we have our new scene. Let's add our text message here. Now that we have the girl placed in the frame, we can now add another text bubble here. New girl comes to school. Something like that. Now we have a third frame done. So just like this, if you ever generate frames where you don't like the background, if you don't like a certain part of the image, you can layer it out using our layers feature. Now let's go ahead and generate our fourth scene. So the fourth scene will be our character here in a shocked expression. So we'll just use our character model again, and sprite, close-up shot, surprise, jaw is open, let's generate. And while this generates, maybe in certain scenes, like I've just noticed the text here doesn't make sense. In painting as a feature will help in this. So what in painting does is you can select a region and you can just like add stuff that you'd like. So like for example, if you wanted to add a bike here, you can select that region and just write bike. So over here, I'm just going to write stop sign. Let's just add a stop sign on the back of the box. We'll generate that. We'll wait for that to generate. So here you can see the imprinting has switched this into a stop sign. Now let's move over to our fourth and last frame. So if we generated a character in a surprise mode here, as you can see. Now like we did in our third frame, let's layer out our character here and add him into a new background. So I'm just going to go ahead and auto segment here. To auto segment, go ahead on the right hand side and press this layers button over here. This will auto segment the frame for you.
And just to reiterate what to do when you want more granular control, you will go to the image, press object selection, and you will place dots around the object you want to segment out. So while this auto segments, let's generate our background. So we'll generate something similar here, with cat, with greenery, to the screen. Awesome. So I think we can use this. This looks good. Anyway, he's big enough to cover the background. We just need to show that he's in a scenario that's similar and cohesive to the previous one. Great, so now that he's auto-segmented, you can see here, we can try him out, put him into third class full overview. You can resize your layers also by just adjusting this, do a close-up shot, and there we go. And then we'll add our last bubble here. Add our text, add the text. For this one, let's do a chat bubble. And we can extend the size here. Oh, please. I wish. There we go. So, like that, you can go ahead and make the rest of the panels for your comic book. These were just an example for 4 panels. You can go ahead and then rearrange these panels however you like using an external tool. This is how to create a comic book from scratch using Morphic Studio. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email at support@morphic.com. Thank you.